apostrophes, man.
Own it.
Yo, it's yours.
Possess it. Yo, we got one more episode.
We going down the Apostrophe Road.
Ain't got no time for super long words.
Save cannots for the birds.
It's can't, yo, say it like that.
Time to react, step back.
Contract!
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Hey,
Holla that, yo.
For shizzle.
I got another rule, yeah? I go to school, fool.
Ownership apostrophe.
It's mine, I say.
It's mine, not Larry's, Curly's, and Moe's.
Punk, don't use it right. That's a travesty.
Catastrophe.
It's mine, not Ben and Jerry's. You better
Lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot, do not miss a chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Apostrophe, I own you.
Possession.
Squad up.
Word.
All right, here we are. This is Noe, Mr. Cavallero, Ms. Parenti to do apostrophe rules. Ready?
Or apostrophes rule. Rule 1. All right. To form the possessive case of a singular noun, you add an apostrophe and an S.
Mom's car.
Okay.
The governor's speech. A hard day's work.
So mom is singular.
Yep.
So if you want to show ownership, which is possession, you add an apostrophe S to mom and making it mom's car. So she owns that car.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
The only thing is the last one, the hard day's work. Just pay attention to that because most people say, well, work isn't owned by the day.
Right.
But it's still showing possession because it is the work of a hard day.
Right.
A hard day's work. Proper name ending in S may add only an apostrophe if the name consists of 2 or more syllables or if the addition of the S would make the name awkward to pronounce. That is a weird rule. And
I get this one wrong
we
a lot.
recognize this. But if you look at the bottom there, so Ulysses is singular, Mr. Rawlings is singular, but those are awkward to add another S. Mr.
Right.
Rawlings's car, Ulysses's plan, doesn't really sound very good. So we just add the apostrophe, right?
It's a weird rule because a part of it's based on sound, and not a lot of things in grammar are based on sound. So.
Right.
Weird.
Okay.
So try these.
You need to pause it. You need to try these. Think about what the answers would be. Even write them down. We're moving ahead. Oh, no, we
Well,
didn't.
no, because they
Oh,
pause.
gosh.
No, you're fine. Because
Oh,
they
okay.
pause, we don't pause.
Oh, yeah. No, for some reason I thought it was the same thing, but with the apostrophes. So, okay. So this is what you should have written down if you paused and followed directions. Take a look. We'll go ahead.
And some of them might be correct. So double
Okay.
check.
Do you want to read this one?
Sure. So rule number 2, so when you have plural nouns, and again, you're going to form a possessive case. So plural nouns that show ownership, you're only adding the apostrophe. So the apostrophe would come after the S.
And there's something, though, these are good examples because a lot of my students have problems with the last 2, like the vacation of 2 weeks. It's not really the ownership. Like 2 weeks doesn't really own vacation, but it's still showing possession in a certain way.
You're indicating that the vacation
Yeah.
consisted of
Right.
2 weeks.
A vacation of 2 weeks. The worth of candy, $5, was $5. Okay. Oh, God. There you go. Okay. Here's the exception to rule number 2. Most plural nouns end in S.
Right.
Some nouns, however, form their plurals irregularly. To form the possessive case of a plural noun that does not end in S, add an apostrophe and an S to the end of the word.
So the way I explain this is some plural nouns they don't already have an S on the end. And you have to consider that if you're writing in the S, if you're having to write it in, that's different than if there's an S at the end of the plural noun. So women, teeth, people, right? None of those have an S, but they're already plural. So you have to add the apostrophe S.
Right.
Just in case. Plural means more than one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, good point.
By the way.
So, you know what, make this easier for yourselves. Just look at the word. If it already ends in S, just add an apostrophe. If it does not end in S, no matter if it's plural or singular, you have to add apostrophe S. So look at the original word before you make it possessive to see what you're looking at. The gloves that belong to the women, the cavities of the teeth.
Of the teeth.
Right.
yes.
I know it sounds weird, but okay. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I'm glad you all answered.
And they all nodded.
Yeah.
So try it with this one, pause, and write those down.
We're moving on. Okay.
Check
There
your
are the
answers.
answers. How'd you do? Possessive personal pronouns do not require an apostrophe at all. So this goes against the rule of possession. My students have studied personal pronouns, so you know what I'm talking about here. But my and mine, your, yours, no apostrophes. So it's actually the opposite.
And we talked about in my class first, second, and third person pronouns.
Right.
And I haven't talked about pronouns yet, so you'll learn this when we get to pronouns.
All right. But most of you know that if you added an apostrophe into its, it turns it into it is.
You never
So-
say mine's is, yours is.
Right.
And if you say his is, be yo, his is. That doesn't sound right.
No.
Exception.
Caution.
Be careful.
Be careful of the contractions. So take a look at these differences, what we were just talking about.
If I ever catch you mixing these up, I'll come and find you.
Well, here the apostrophes are
feeling
actually
scared?
contractions.
Right.
It's not just showing possession. So
Right.
like the squirrel lost its tail, it's showing it already owns the tail. That's the the pronoun. It's 20 past 12 means it is 20 past 12.
I actually remember doing this as a kid, actually
Yeah.
sounding it out in my
Mhm. I do, yep.
sentences. Our jacket? No, your jacket.
Right.
It is 20 past 12? Yes, it's 20 past 12. So if you get in the habit of doing that, it makes it a lot easier.
So try these.
Gonna pause it. Hit the pause. Do it. We know you're lying if you don't. Okay. Okay, there are the
Check your
answers.
answers.
Bye-bye.
Nope.
Oh. Oh.
There you go. Do you see the pause? That wasn't my
Yeah,
fault. I
no.
hit it and it paused. Okay.
Roll 4.
Roll 4.
Some indefinite pronouns are considered singular, and therefore the possessive case requires an apostrophe and s. So if you have everyone, even though you're talking about multiple people in everyone, like everyone in the class has homework, it's everyone's
It's a
homework.
unit. They're a single entity.
And
even
there's
though
no,
it's-
I pretty
Right.
much don't think, you don't need to think too hard about this.
there's
one.
no s at the end.
You really don't.
So you add apostrophe s.
Right. No S at the end, apostrophe S. So these are the indefinite pronouns. Blue apply to this rule. Again, don't think too hard about this. I think this will come naturally to you because they don't end in S.
Right.
Okay? Rule 5. In compound words, names of organizations or business firms, and words showing joint possession, 2 or more owning one thing, only the last word shows the apostrophe.
Is that your teacher voice?
That was my special calm, soothing voice as they get halfway through apostrophe rules and start to hate us. Okay.
That's a very honest answer.
All right.
Yeah,
So you
that's
just
fair.
have to look at the examples there.
Check it out.
Again, most of them are pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, look at the last one.
Yep.
Because this is where people do get confused. Brian and Mike's locker, they're sharing the locker.
Right.
So only the last name gets the apostrophe s, and it shows it's for both of them.
Right.
That's the joint ownership concept. They own that locker together or they're using it together.
Brian and Mike are a unit.
Right. The other ones, most students don't really. Mother's-in-law's house. No, most people would never say that. It's my mother-in-law's
Only if you have more
house.
than one mother-in-law, and that's illegal.
No, you sound
Right,
like
we don't wanna do that.
You sound like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Mother's-in-laws. Mies likes the rings. Eyes likes the rings.
Thou
All right,
shalt
okay,
not
so yeah,
pass.
we gotta move on. Okay, exceptional rule number 5. When one of the words showing joint possession is a pronoun, oh, I hate this rule. Both words must be made possessive. Oh, doesn't this one drive you crazy?
It
I
does.
still have to
Yeah,
rewrite. Okay.
Me too.
Marie's and my room. It's just awkward. Marie and Sue's room. But you see, because one of them was a pronoun, you have to make Marie into possessive. You wouldn't say Marie and my room.
Right. So I almost think of it like the distributive property in math. So the
Ooh.
ownership is being distributed to the room, so you have to consider each one individually. So I sometimes will draw an arrow. So obviously it's my room, but it's not Marie room, it's Marie's room. So whoever has possession, I kind of try to distribute it back, and that's just one way to check it.
I only caught about half of that.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll
Sorry.
show you guys in class.
And maybe he'll show us too.
Yeah, we don't understand. I don't get that distributed.
I got it,
I
but
kind of
yeah,
do.
kinda.
Yeah.
This is why we teach English.
Mike's and his program. You wouldn't say Mike and his program, although they would. See that? Some of them would say that.
But it would
Mike
be
and his
incorrect.
program. It would be incorrect. So really study this one, guys. Okay.
Try again.
No, give me a minute.
Oh.
Okay, maybe I'm trying again. No, see?
It tricked
Okay.
you again.
All right, again.
Pause. Here,
Here's
I'm gonna
the
push
formative
them.
assessment.
Do it.
There are the answers.
Check your answers. Pause.
I think I've just been.
All right, so rule number
Dismissed.
6. When two or more persons possess something individually, each of the names is possessive and form. So,
In form.
right, that's what I meant to say. Okay, so you have to think about it kind of on a per situation basis. So for the first example, Miss Wheeler's and Mrs. Stewart's children, each one of them has their own children, so each one of them has to show individual ownership of their
They get their own apostrophe.
children.
Right.
Right, they get their own.
So it's Edith's shoes and Gwen's shoes separately. Okay, does everybody understand? Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Now try these.
Formative assessment.
No.
Oh, see, Mrs. Noe's going to take over. She's taking over the mouse clicking.
All right,
for
check
me.
your answers.
She can't take it anymore. Okay.
Rule 7. Use an apostrophe to show where letters or numbers have been omitted, which means taken out, in a contraction. So that first one is she is not here, but you're saying she's not here. So you're taking out the I, so you have an apostrophe there.
You're right. You are right.
You better know that one.
I had forgotten my homework. Marion is late. 1981. A lot of people don't know that one. A clock of the clock. It's 7 of the clock. I hope you're in your classroom.
That's a very ancient expression,
I like it.
but we still use it.
Exception to rule number 7 is
More
you
letters.
take, yeah, you just are changing it, taking more letters out. Will not becomes won't, but it's still contraction.
Now,
So
to
you know
my
this.
kids, Noe, you guys want to look at this one because on your grammar test, then a lot of these are errors kids usually make, and these are on your grammar test.
Especially with the who's and whos.
Mhm.
That's a big one. Who is playing? Whose play is this? That's possessive. Rule 8, use the apostrophe and s to form the plural of letters, numbers, signs, and of words referred to as words. I love that last one. Words referred to as words. Takes a while for you to get that. But, okay, so the word grammar has 2 R's and 2 A's. So, for example, look at the last one. If I said no apostrophe there, it would be the word as. So the apostrophe is what's actually indicating to you that it's plural. So this is the only time when you use an apostrophe to make something plural.
Letters and numbers.
Right. Take a look at them. So, where,
I'm
okay.
sorry. Continue.
Okay, Mr. Cavallaro is pointing at things that we don't understand again. Okay, so, no ifs, ands, or buts, my mom always says. So those ifs, ands, and buts are not actually
You said butts.
functioning. I did. This will, see if they made it all the way through.
Don't touch the butt.
Oh, man. Okay, we're getting loopy. Those are not words that are functioning as conjunctions in the sentence. They're just words referred to as words.
Right.
Say that again. That's funny.
Words referred
Referred
to
to
as
as
words.
words.
Butts. Okay. Formative assessment check. Rule number 7 and 8.
All right, pause. Do it for real. This is what makes you pass your grammar test.
Okay.
Check your answers. And
The
you're done.
end. Woo-hoo. Yay for another grammar.
everybody.
Bye, everybody. How do I
Wait.
shut it off?
Nope.
I don't know.
Stay tuned for a Halloween episode. Bye-bye.